wherever we are in our space, in our professions, is really property for you. And I wanted to give you a few examples of people that I have met, people that I've had conversations with, people that you might even know. If you are new, we are not new on this channel. We've been around for a while. And I want to zoom in into 2020. In 2020, there was quite a number of people that we interviewed in what we call M5 Successful Friends. And on M5 Successful Friend, we are out every Friday, and we are talking like today. We will be talking to someone who is successful in their own right in terms of their property journey. And without wasting time, I'm going to jump into it, and I want to state the obvious. Someone said to me that, TJ, if you don't find a way to make money whilst you are sleeping, you're going to work until you die. And I hope that you are not one of those people. Boom, boom, how's it going? Yay, it is I, TJ, and welcome to M5 channel. And this is where we talk about anything and around property. Real estate allows us not to be like those people who are going to work until they die, but real estate gives us the ability where we can actually be able to buy a property, and out of that, the tenant will pay for the debt. And for the longest time ever, we will own the asset and it will give us some cash. A lot of people call this their cash cow. So do you have a cash cow, or is a cash cow for you? I don't know, but let's find out. In 2020, I had the privilege to actually meet up and interview a number of people from many different disciplines. A lot of them are a little bit crazzos like me, or became a little bit crazo like me, and they literally became hooked on this whole property thing. And I'm going to mention some of those people on who they are. But as I go along, it might be good of you actually to just stop and go and listen to their journey. Because I think in everyone's journey, we have learned something. I have certainly learned something. And I have taken one or two things out of their pages, and I have implemented in my book, and I am winning. So let's start off by honoring the ladies. In 2020, I interviewed someone else who is a specialist in the area of neurodevelopment. And she is a doctor. And yes, I am talking about Dr. Beulah. Well, we might not know who Dr. Beulah is, but for you to be able to know who Dr. Beulah, somewhere in here, you should be able to see who Dr. Beulah is. And at this time, you can jump in and to listen to her story. But listen to this story here. She didn't just start off by being in property. She has actually now utilized the vehicle of property to propel something else that she loves, which is mixing property and neurodevelopment. And she buys properties. And top of those properties, she runs a school for kids. And out of that, she has a business. And within that business also then pays her bond. And for that, she has the asset. And isn't that a great idea of owning properties? She's not the only one who does that. There's so many people that are like that. But how does she do it? You can jump on to listen to her story. Let's jump on to someone else. There is a guy that we spoke to, and his name is Zach. Zach is out in Durban, and somewhere along here, you should be able to see Zach. And this is the video that Zach did with me. But Zach is not just a property investor. He is also a general manager for a multinational company, and within our country of South Africa, that's what his daily job is. But over and above that, he realizes that there is something else, another opportunity where he can make a side hustle. And he created his own brand, which is called the Bus Stop. And what does the Bus Stop do? He does what is called rent to rent. So he doesn't have to leave his job. He's still his job. He's still in his job where he does general managing, and he also does some consulting. And on top of that, he's got assets, on top of the assets that he's got, he's renting from someone else, and he doesn't have to own them, but he rents from someone, and then he gets rent from someone else as well So which means that if he's renting for 2 rand and he rents for 4 rand, he's going to make the 2 rand profit and be able to pay his landlord. Isn't that an easy way of making money? I think it is. I will jump on to someone else. Ntombeli. We all know him. And if you don't, here is his video. When I met him, or when we started having a conversation, it was again on this channel where we were talking about how is he winning. He specializes in what is called back-to-back. So you might be asking, TJ, what is a back-to-back? Back-to-back is one of the strategies that you can do where you can literally not buy a property, but you put an offer on a property and you sell it to someone before it takes transfers in your name. Or potentially it can take transfer in your name into the next person, but you make a little bit of buck in it. But he hasn't left his job. He is an accountant, and out of that, he has a side hustle. So are you an accountant? If you're an accountant, what are you waiting for? If you're a general manager in whatever sphere of your profession is, the question is, what are you waiting for? Because others who are in the same professions with you are already doing it and are winning. You might be saying, hey, TJ, you know what? My job is so demanding. What about this? These guys are also doing it. How different are they from you? No difference. I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to jump on to someone else. Muzi. We all know Muzi from the UK. But some of you might be saying, you know what, TJ? But this guy is a little bit of a crazy like you. Yes, he is. He also left his job, just like I did. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to leave your job. Only when you're seeing that it can sustain you. But what was his background? His background was engineering. So you might be thinking, hey, I'm an engineer. I don't need to leave my job. There is others who are winning in this profession of real estate, and they were engineers, and he is chasing his passion in real estate. I call him a little bit crazy because I did the same thing. Back in the days, I was a banker, and I left that to chase the dream of my real estate. How did I do it, and how did Muzi do? Whilst he was employed, he worked. Over time, should I say. What do I mean by over time? On the job that he had? No. But on himself. And above that, he also started putting in effort in getting multiple deals. And from getting multiple deals, he went on to be able to replace his income like what I did. Is this difficult? Can you do it? Anyone can do it. You too can do it. I'm going to jump on to someone else who's a physiotherapist. And this is one of my boys who's called Dana. Dana, he is out in a very small town called Bloemfontein. And his practice was doing well. So this is almost like a businessman. Because if you got your own practice, it's actually now a business. And he left his business. Why? He was chasing the dream of property. His property business, when he started it off, it actually became a proper business that he didn't see the need to continuously run with his physiotherapy. But as a practice, he sold it off, whatever the case is. But we still do see him, even in the conversation that we had with him. He does speak of, sometimes he goes and helps out his wife, which means that the passion of being a physiotherapist is still there. It still burns within him. He loves it. But real estate, property, gives him a different kick. So what are you waiting for? Maybe you're a physiotherapist as well. I don't know. Let me go on to someone else. This guy is called Lebo. And Lebo, you should be seeing up his video again. But let me talk about Lebo. Not only is he a tax practitioner, he was an accountant. He did everything else. He went on to get the best qualifications in the practice of numbers, right? Which is tax and everything else. But what happened? Somewhere along the line, he discovered that he needed to actually go into property, and he went on to property. So the question that I want to ask of you is, with all of these guys that are doing all of these things, what are you waiting for? When is your turn coming? Are you hanging on to your job? No, there is nothing wrong with that. But create something different on the side that pays you whilst you're sleeping. We'll check you out on the next video. It is ITJ, Taurai Jack.